Welcome.
They got it. Welcome, everyone. I was
Welcome.
almost going to give up. I was trying to call
Me too.
I know, I was texting and I said, is this right? Because I had been having trouble with my laptop anyway. So I said, well, maybe I'm not on,
Well, and you know
So,
what's interesting, because I thought I had her last name, Dawn's last name spelled wrong, but then when her name came up, it was right, because it asked us to enter the last name of the person you try to contact, and it still wouldn't let me do it. So I don't
oh,
know. But
really?
anyways, we're all here. So that's a good thing.
Good,
So
great.
the meeting is called to order today at 2:10.
2:10, okay.
And then the next thing would be the motion to approve the Disability Commission meeting minutes from Tuesday, February 27th. Did everyone get an opportunity to look at them?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, yes, yes. And
yes,
obviously, Lorraine, you wrote them, so
yes.
is there anyone that does not want to approve the meeting minutes? Okay, so I need a motion to approve.
I will make your motion to approve the minutes of the February meeting.
Thank
Okay.
you, Gloria.
I will
And
second it.
thank you, Karen, and the meeting minutes are approved.
Okay, thank you.
Gloria, I miss your face today. And
What was, did I miss something?
your name is there, but you have a black screen.
Yo, I know. I don't know how to fix that.
On the bottom left, if you hold your cursor over it, it should have video and mute. And if you put there you are.
There you are.
That was better when you couldn't see me, right?
No, actually,
Hi,
I
Gloria.
like it much better now, Gloria. I always like to
Yes,
see your smiling face.
exactly.
One more, it's not on the meeting notes, but one thing I'd just like to add to our meeting notes for this month. It is important that we all make every effort to attend disability meetings to the best of our abilities. I just want to make sure that everyone that can is attending.
So Anna is not able to attend?
I don't, I didn't hear from her this time. I usually send out updates on Monday and then Tuesday and so forth. I did not do it this month, but
Okay.
anyways,
Okay,
okay.
all right.
And another thing I just want to bring up to get your opinion before we get into new business. So kind of interestingly enough, there's two people running for town clerk. And I had one person come to my house a couple of days ago, Bill Wood, and he spoke to me for a long time. And this is not a political thing, so it's safe to talk about. But he spoke to me a long time about running for the town clerk. Then he left. Then he came back again and rang my bell. And I thought he forgot something, but what he wanted to talk about was downtown Bridgewater. And what he was talking about is the storefront buildings around the green. He asked what the position is for accessibility for people with disability. And his question was in regard to a lot of the buildings have like steps. A lot of the buildings, some of them have 2 steps. And what I remember from a meeting that Lorena and I went to, individual businesses did not need to renovate the building to make them accessible for people with disability unless they spent a certain amount of money renovating the building, and then they needed to make the building accessible. And I don't remember what the cutoff point and spending and so forth was. I took a walk yesterday through the downtown, and a couple of the buildings that I think spent quite a bit of money renovating the building was the coffee shop downtown, the barber shop on the other side of the green, renovated the inside. And both those buildings have either 2 steps or 1 step to get in. Even the real estate agent on the beginning of the green right across from it has a step to get in. So all the buildings are impossible to get in if you have a walker or a wheelchair or so forth. So it's just something we should be involved in discussion. It's just something beyond our capabilities or our position. And I just wanted to ask you what you thought.
David, what I would suggest is, since this isn't an agenda item, we probably can't get into those details, and maybe if it's something you want to add to the agenda next month, just
Okay.
add the item to the agenda next month, and then we can put it out there and have.
Well, I will be
discussion.
happy to do that. Do you think
Yeah.
that's do
Yeah,
you feel that that's a
the
worthy?
appropriate way to do it. Yeah,
And that's no problem. Do you feel
Yeah.
it's a worthy topic to discuss next month?
yes,
Yeah,
Okay.
and I
Good.
think it's important to get clarification about what is the town's role or our role
yeah.
regarding privately owned buildings versus
Okay.
publicly owned buildings.
Mhm.
And I know that, perhaps some guidance in terms of planning for next month's discussion, maybe some guidance from Steve Solari as the ADA coordinator would be helpful.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But that could be an agenda topic next month.
Yep.
Very good. I will do that.
Mhm.
Okay, new business. Tomorrow, and I know I'm attending, at the Senior Center on Zoom at 2 p.m. is the importance of disability studies, exploring the importance of studying disability culture and history. Conducted by SAS and graduate student Alina Poklad for our presentation series on disability culture. It sounds like a great program. I know that I think that Lorraine, didn't you go to another program in
I
the?
attended the first one along with Gloria. We both
Okay.
attended together over at the college.
Mhm.
And that was about disabilities in films or whatever, but what a fascinating individual. She's just
Right.
amazing, Alina. And we really enjoyed it, right, Gloria?
We did. She was very knowledgeable.
Mhm.
And I enjoyed her presentation, and she gave us a
Yeah.
list of movies, and there's even a series on PBS, I believe, called
Mhm.
Silent Witness. Just a very informative, a wonderful woman, and I think you will enjoy listening to this program as well.
Yes,
I'm
I'll
looking
definitely be attending.
I'm looking forward to it. I guess she's actually
Yeah.
doing it live at the university, and then they're
Yes.
doing the Zoom at the Senior Center, and again at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And I think, well, I'm going to the Senior Center. I think
Yeah,
that
I am too.
an easier accessibility for me, and I'll also see other folks going there also. So I'm looking forward to it. Great.
Mhm. That was thanks to Evie DeLutis. Evie set up that Zoom watch party.
She was
Just
very
make it easier.
enthusiastic about it. Good.
Yeah, for the parking and all that. Right, Gloria?
Yeah. Yes.
If you're interested in movies about disabilities, I will also add Crip Camp.
Oh,
And it is about a camp from the 1960s and 70s where teens and young adults with disabilities in the Adirondacks, and
Mhm.
some of the campers from that camp were very instrumental in passing things like the ADA, and they became very important in the world of disability rights. And as an aside, for all of us who grew up in the 60s and 70s,
Mhm.
music in Crip Camp is amazing. So you will enjoy it. It will bring back your high school and early adulthood just because it's good music.
Oh, great.
Good.
Karen,
Thank you.
how do you spell that first word,
I
Karen?
was asking that too.
CRIP.
Oh.
Okay.
Now,
Crip,
that is a
okay.
pejorative term for people with disabilities, but it's
Oh.
one of those things like they can call each other crips, like crippled, but we
Mhm.
can't. So they
Okay.
referred to this within themselves, this event, as their Crip Camp. They're 2 weeks or 1 month away in the Adirondacks. And these would be folks with cerebral palsy, spina bifida, Down syndrome, you name it. So
Okay.
it's a
Thank you.
really nicely done movie.
And I have
Okay.
one more question. Where would you have availability to view that?
I'm not sure. I mean, but Google probably can lead
Mhm.
you to it. I
Okay.
know during the pandemic, we had a showing of it on campus.
Okay.
through Zoom. And so there were about 50 of us on that movie.
Oh,
And,
wow.
you know,
Yeah.
watching that movie and having the discussion afterwards. So it was faculty, it was some people from the community, and it was also students who had
Mhm.
really never thought of. I think a lot of our students think of individuals with disabilities because of the focus on education as children. And they don't really think about what their lives are like as teens or becoming adults or wanting to go to college and have careers. And so
Right.
it was a really nice way to have lots of different stakeholders discuss the movie. It was fun.
Mhm.
Nice.
It,
That's
it
great.
sounds good. It
Mhm.
sounds very good.
Great.
Okay. Um, the next thing on the agenda, and it was kind of a question on my part, should we consider on the Disability Commission working in conjunction with the Bridgewater Elder Affairs Commission in some ways to gain more insight into the needs or disability needs of Bridgewater residents, better opportunity to address public concerns, engage older disabled residents in causes they care about. And in dealing with people, I'm delivering meals to assortment of different seniors, and that's who I deal with because I'm not trying to select elders as opposed to the youth of Bridgewater, but I can see that there's so many needs in issues that come up. It can be transportation, it could be how to get food, it can be just maneuvering around outside of their own home, and a lot of people don't know who to turn to or where to go. And I'm wondering, would that be something that would work for us to work more in conjunction with the Elder Affairs Commission? Or does it not make sense to you?
No.
I personally, if you wanted us to, how would that work? Do you mean, would you want us to join your meeting then or something? And you would
Uh,
put it on, what, I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah,
well, I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I mean, Emily could be invited to our meetings. She certainly has a lot of knowledge of what's going on.
Mhm.
But I'm just trying to see how can we better work with people with disability in Bridgewater.
Mhm.
My area of what I work with is the seniors or the elders of Bridgewater. So feel I can see a lot of the needs there.
Right.
Obviously, there's
Yeah.
also similar needs with
Mhm.
young people in Bridgewater. So
Right.
I'm trying to think, how could we make ourselves more effective? How could we get more, information and education, I guess I would say. And, how could we get more accomplished? And I thought possibly if we worked a little more with the senior center and so forth, that would help us. But I just wanted different viewpoints.
Mhm.
It could be a yes for everyone. It could be a no. I just want to get kind of work together and see what you thought.
I'm just going to suggest that we step back, look at our mission statement, and then remember what our role is. We are an advisory council to the town. So we
Okay.
don't provide services what the senior center does. So the question would be, are we only permitted to share our thoughts with Josh and the folks in the town manager's office, which is historically how it's been,
Right.
or is there this opportunity to weigh in, and maybe only when invited or maybe on a semi-regular basis, to other branches of the town government or the town services?
Okay.
So, we can talk about connecting with the senior center and talking about what we've observed, but then we've also been very active with the parks group, and which I think is perfect. Do we want to also think about accessibility at the transfer station? Or what are the other branches that we could potentially inform, but our roles are pretty limited. We can't
Right.
make recommendations to private building owners about what they need to do. And some of the buildings in town are old enough that they're probably grandfathered in, as
Mm.
awkward and awful as they are.
Mhm.
But maybe we can make the point with folks like Bob Ruley, who gratefully came to this meeting, that as they're looking at new construction, as they're looking at new developments, could that please also include this idea of accessibility for all individuals with disabilities, like making sure that for folks with low vision, we have crosswalks with beepy things that tell us it's safe or not safe. I am of the opinion that no matter what we put around Central Square, there's going to be somebody who's just a jerk, but that's just
Mm,
me trying to cross the street. But we can, so I think our role, we just need to stay within our mission statement and get an idea from the town. What would they welcome and what would they permit within what our role is? So I think our first place to look is the mission statement, and how does that inform how we can support folks with disabilities in town by reaching out, not just to the town manager's office, but maybe other parts. I'm not sure.
Yep, okay. Any other opinions?
Has Emily ever been invited? I mean, these are open meetings, so anyone can attend. Has Emily ever been invited to attend one of our meetings?
Yes.
She
Not
has.
recently, but she
Right.
has in the past.
Okay,
She has been invited in the past.
okay.
and David, I would certainly be open to, if you do put something on your agenda, on the COA agenda or whatever, Elder Affairs,
Mhm.
something regarding, a disability issue or concern or discussion, I would certainly, if the invitation was there, I would never say no to attending the meeting. I would certainly be happy to attend.
Yeah,
So,
and I
whatever
miss
direction-
having,
Yeah,
I miss having a representative from our first responders, because I know, like, I see things in my literature. There was just a young autistic man that was killed by police because they misunderstood his intentions and his actions.
Okay.
And we've also run into that with deaf individuals. The police will say, stop, put your hands up. And their back is to the person. They don't know he's deaf. He's continuing to move, and they shoot them in the back.
Oh, my God.
So this is not happening in Bridgewater. I mean, we're
No.
no,
but
Right,
we're not gonna suggest that.
no, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is there,
Yeah.
like, what, given, Dave is having experiences as a Meals on Wheels delivery person, what kinds of issues are our first responders seeing with individuals in our community who are disabled? What would they like to see us do?
Hmm.
Because they get to see people in the most unfortunate situations.
Mhm.
And do they see anything that we can do as a town advisory board, or are the issues best addressed in an entirely different way? Because just Dave's comments about seeing things when he's delivering Meals on Wheels, you're just kind of like, there are some people who see all kinds of crazy stuff. And what would they want to see happening in our town?
that's a great idea. That would be a really nice opportunity for our next agenda.
Yeah, or
Very-
even just reach out to, was it Anne who was coming to our meetings?
It
Anne
was.
retired, yes,
Oh, did she? Okay.
yes,
See, I can't keep up anymore, but
Yeah.
maybe there is someone on the force, on the police force, or in any of our first responders who would say, well, I can't come in April, but maybe I can come in May and talk about, disabilities from from their perspective. I don't want to preach to them. I want to find out what they're seeing.
mhm,
I think that's a really good idea. I also had a question from a personal standpoint and what you think should have happened. Delivering meals last week, actually, I went to the house of a very, very elderly person, and it just so happened that their child was there with them. As I knocked on the door, the child, who's certainly an adult, was yelling at the senior, very loudly and aggressively. They stopped when they answered the door, but they were calling names and so forth at the
You
individual.
report that. You absolutely report that. You don't have a choice.
Okay, and the reason I'm asking, because the senior that I was delivering meals to, it seems to be very well cared for, taken care of. They do, but you still report it.
Yes, because it's
Okay.
not just physical abuse. But if you have any concerns at all about where the guidelines are, Lorraine certainly is a resource based on her years in the senior center.
right,
And Emily would certainly know what the current guidelines are.
Well,
But
David, you
when
would be considered a mandated reporter, Meals
Yes.
on Wheels.
Meals on
So
Wheels would
if
be
there is an issue, then you would definitely report it and address it definitely
Okay.
immediately to Emily Williams and then also
But
Kathy Hayes.
there are also other places to address senior abuse, and
Mhm.
Emily is not the police, and so she is not she
It-
should be in the loop, but she is not the person you
It
report.
depends upon the situation, absolutely. Yep,
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm speaking as a mandated reporter.
yes,
If I had, when I was doing home care, I would have to report to my agency. I would also have to report to the state senior abuse center, so the hotline. So there's I would have to make 2 reports. One
Right.
to my employer, because they would also send a nurse out to check on them. And then, because I was doing home care, but the other one would be the state hotline to report to and make anonymous reports of
Mhm.
elder abuse, which can be physical or emotional or, psychological, also
Exactly.
financial. So,
Yep.
anyway, I told David earlier that I have to leave for another meeting at 2:30, so I will see you all in April.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
sorry,
yep,
guys.
okay, take
Bye.
care.
Bye,
Yeah.
bye,
Take care,
Catherine.
Okay,
Bye
bye.
now. Okay, and I guess I would just sum up. I had mixed feelings because this person is not able to help themselves, and they seem to be uh, very, very well taken care of. And I didn't. I almost was like, should I upset the apple cart because they're dressed, they're clean, they're fed, all
Yeah.
good things, and they wouldn't be able to take care of themselves. However, the person's temper is really
Mhm.
so.
You know what I would do also, David? Um, I would address it to Kathy. Kathy's
That's
probably very familiar
right.
with that senior and just gain some insight from her. I mean, obviously, yes, you're mandated reporters and this and that,
Right.
but she can gauge out the situation as far as, I mean, maybe she's
Yeah.
familiar with this
I'll do
individual.
that. And
You
quite
know?
honestly, I probably 1 out of every 2 times they deliver, I give them updates on one issue or another. So,
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
do the same. I'll just reach
Yep,
out.
that's what I would do, and then maybe she, if it gets to a point, maybe you would have to report it,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
I mean, it's kind of shocking actually, because I picked up a lot more people now. I'm doing Meals on Wheels, and I got to tell you, there's so many people that can't get out of their houses. They don't have transportation. They don't even know sometimes how to get, food. And we do have resources available, and they don't always necessarily embrace taking advantage of the resources, whether it be transportation from the senior center, whether it be the availability of food at the food pantry downtown or whatever. And there's a lot of people with a lot of disability needs of one nature or another that it's kind
Yeah,
of surprising in a town like Bridgewater.
there is, yeah,
So
definitely.
the other thing under new business I put down, we did this before, and we were kind of looking in a different direction at that time. Invite local disability commission members to join us on upcoming call in April and May. And we've done that before for a few other times when we were thinking of applying for grants, and they were talking about what they did, and we didn't really reach out in other directions. I put down well, for myself, maybe Middleborough, but is this something we want to do, don't want to do? What do you guys think?
I think probably not at this point in time. You know who I would love to see again? I forget his name, but is it Independent Associates?
In East Bridgewater,
Yes.
Yes,
we've actually had
he's
him
very, very
4 times.
informative, and
Okay.
I'd love to get an update from them at some point in time. They're so active and they're just so involved.
They
Is-
actually they do housing, they do
Yes,
job placement, they do a lot of different things for the local social community.
so I'm thinking if maybe we could, bring them in during one of our
Okay.
meetings or something,
Okay.
I agree.
That's
I'm-
good.
I'm- Real quickly, David, I'm not sure if I will be at the May meeting or not. I am flying to Florida. My granddaughter is making her confirmation.
Okay.
So I don't know if because I know it ties in with Memorial Day's coming up and all that.
Right.
I think our meeting's like the day after Memorial Day, I believe.
Okay.
But I'm
Well-
not sure. I don't know if I'm gonna be around for that meeting or just flying in from that, on that day or not. To
So we're
let you
gonna
know on the May,
We're gonna meet in
so.
April. You can
Right.
update it at that point.
Yeah,
I think another thing that I just wrote that is really important, I'm gonna reach out to Josh because they get all the applications for commissions at
mhm,
his office up there, or Dutton's office.
right,
And I think it's important that we reach out to get some new members to
yes.
complete the membership of our Disability Commission.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So I'll make sure that happens before our next meeting and
Okay,
follow up with that. If you know anyone else that would be interested, certainly let us know. We're looking for someone with some experience, someone that, could add to our commission. So good. We, the last couple of months, we've talked about going over the sample goals and also the bylaws, and probably at this point, we should wait until we have a slightly fuller commission. What do you
Mhm.
guys think?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I knew you were gonna say that.
David, can I address something real quickly too?
I would love you to.
I thought I saw, I read something very quickly and I didn't get a chance to address it with Karen. I believe there was a resignation from Karen. Karen,
Yeah,
she will be
Yeah.
resigning. Well, she doesn't prefer to be reappointed
right.
after June,
So
so
her last meeting would be in May,
in May, okay.
right?
I didn't, because I couldn't get on and then you guys were talking. I didn't know if she mentioned it to you or not.
She did not mention it. She had mentioned it to you and me, but she
Yeah.
didn't bring it up to the full.
Okay, and I didn't get a chance to ask her. I didn't realize she did have to scoot out so fast, so.
Right, and
I did
I
see,
touched base with her prior to the meeting, and she is definitely May will be her last meeting.
May will be your last meeting.
Right.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
so should just have April. All right. So,
So that's it from me. Anything else you'd like to see added for our next meeting? The direction going forward, certainly appreciated.
no, I just, like I said, like I did mention to you, David, I'm all for, if you have an elder affairs meeting and you wanna, post it with also the Disabilities Commission, if you're gonna be involved in a discussion, I would be happy to attend that, if there were some things that they wanted to address, along the line of what, our purview is too, or whatever. I know we're just advisory, but, I have no problem with that attending.
Okay. So,
And Gloria already attends, so.
I
right,
do. I do.
are you both going to that meeting tomorrow at the senior center?
Yes,
Oh, good.
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
Oh, I look forward to seeing you there.
yeah.
Oh, so on a personal note, this is a negative about getting old. So I went to the doctor maybe 3 months ago, had my hips checked, which have been uncomfortable, and they told me I'm 2 to 3 years away from hip surgery on both hips.
Ay,
Then
ay,
I
ay.
had my back check, which is really uncomfortable, and they said other than fusing some of the parts of the back, there's not really a lot we can do, and I don't really want to go into that kind of surgery because
Oh,
I have mixed feelings on what I read about it. That all being said, tomorrow I have a knee appointment to find
Oh, David.
when my knees need to be done. So pretty soon I'm going to be bionic because there'll be 2 hips and 2 knees. But I'll tell you, all this stuff just came out of nowhere. I just felt like, wow, I'm really good for my age. And then all of a sudden, boom, 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 everything's falling apart. I
Oh,
don't know.
I hear what you're saying, David. My trip is next week, and I said to Lisa, my daughter, I said, you guys just be good to me. I might have to all of a sudden stop and say, my knee's killing me, because we're gonna be doing a lot of walking,
mhm,
so,
mhm.
yeah. Good.
One day at, everybody, one day at a time.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
you go. Joe, I think we've covered everything. Is there anything either of you would like to add before we end the meeting?
No, I just, thank you, David, and thank you, Gloria, for participating, and, I will see you both tomorrow then at the, at that, the senior center. That sounds good.
Yeah,
See
it
you both
does.
tomorrow. If you have anything you'd like to add for the next agenda, please
Okay,
let me know in advance. That would be great.
Okay.
The next meeting currently is scheduled for Tuesday, April 30th on
Okay.
Zoom at 2:00.
30th, okay.
that sounds good.
And we just need a motion to adjourn and we'll be all set.
Well,
make
I
a-
will, go ahead, go ahead.
I wonder who's
defer-
gonna do
I'll
it,
defer to
okay?
you, Lorraine.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, Lorraine. Who could second it?
And I will make the motion to second it, David.
Thank you very
Okay.
much, Gloria. You
Alright.
guys have a great day. I look forward to
Thank
seeing
you.
tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Everyone, take care.
Sounds
Alright,
good.
well,
Take care. Thanks a
you.
lot.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.